affection, baby. That's the love indeed. Treat your wood right. Give it tender care. Treat your wood right. Stain and seal supply. We're always there.
Treat your wood right.
There you go.
You know how to turn it off. It's going in a circle.
There you go. What's happening, guys? How are y'all doing?
What's going on, man?
Doing great.
Let me close this one out there. That was awesome. So that was a recent video you put out, but that was you a while back, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's just old footage off the old cell phone. I had to do a video dump, I guess, and just playing around, having a good time.
So what's going on, man? Everybody listening, hopefully watching. We got Caleb Roth here, which everybody, I mean, we all know you as the king of stain. So whether you like to call yourself that or not. So welcome.
Yeah, man, glad to be here. Appreciate you guys bringing me on the show.
Yep. And then we've got, last but not least, Sasha. What's going on, man?
Everyone.
How are you? We got Sasha, founder of Founders Fence, one of them, right? We are honored. We're honored to have you here again, man. Thanks for coming on, and I know you're going to be co-hosting this with us for a while, so we're excited to have you back. But we talk about you all the time. Let's talk about Caleb for a second.
Yeah, come on. I'm not important anymore.
I think he's the most committed man in the room, though. He's already set up at the show, so
Been there for nearly a year. I'm still here.
It cost me about $20,000 a day for him to stay there all year, but he doesn't care. He said he's going to keep the room anyways. All right.
I'm out of booze. No, I've got problems. The kegs are empty.
Are you from Texas?
Yeah, very deep South Texas. Very deep.
Nice. Good deal. Yeah, that video, I'm glad you played it because you've had the same reaction. Everybody that's seen it is smiles and laughs.
Yeah.
So I think that's a cool reaction, and appreciate you showing it on there.
Hey, and I know that's an older one, but tell me, what's changed? I mean, what in staining? What since you made that video, has there anything that's been anything changed that that you do differently?
Well, the video is very new, but the footage in the video is very old. So when I first started out, and I grew up in the fence business, and wanted to make some side money, so I started staining, but I didn't have a budget to advertise. You know, I grew up with the yellow pages, right? And so I would just film every single thing that I did, you know, and the idea was to let people in Nashville know that I knew what I was doing, and we could stain their fence too. And that was basically it. So some old footage. The thing that's changed probably is I'm a desk jockey now, and I'd much rather be out, not every day, because you know it gets tough, right? But it would be nice to go stain a fence.
Yep. And that's where you got to get this facial hair like us going right here, what you got going now. It helps. It helps with that other chin we got. See, the more facial hair you got, you start working on a desk, you got to hide it.
Yeah. There you go.
But while we're on that subject though, if you had to explain, and now that we're on staining, which we're going to be talking a lot about it, if you had to explain good staining in one sentence, what would it be?
Well, probably it's no different than building a fence or anything else. It's attention to detail. You know, if it looks like crap, then you probably didn't do a good job. You probably need to fix it. So I think if you pay attention and you take pride in your work, you can figure out how to make your job sites look good. So that's the thing, is care about what you do. Treat your wood right. Yeah.
and I know I probably told this story. I probably told this story 1,000 times about when I came and visited you. Up in Tennessee, and was that Lebanon is where you're going to be doing your next event. Yeah. But this was not too far out of Nashville, going south a little bit, if I remember correctly, towards what was the city it was in?
This event was at a much smaller venue. It was in Alexandria, Tennessee. That's where actually our office is located.
Yep.
Yeah. This year is probably about 10 times that size. I think it's 20 or 30,000 square feet. So much bigger room.
Yeah, and I went. I mean, it was amazing. The energy and what you had me so excited about staining. I was back in Las Vegas trying to figure out how I was going to apply stain to chain link fence posts. All I wanted to do. I think I reached out to you. I'm like, all I want to do is now do staining. That's how jazzed and excited I was. You can see me in this video in the back there. And if you know me, I never pay attention to nothing. And I was like totally fascinated by what you guys did.
Yeah, you got your book there, everything. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
It was a picture book. It had a lot of pictures in it, you know.
Yeah, it was a coloring book. You know, it's black and white fences. You stain them. So
Speaking of black and white, I hear your phone is all black and white now. What's the deal with that?
So I'm in a business group called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, and we interviewed a new guy to be in our forum yesterday, and he was doing big things on high level, and he just said that his phone was in black and white and it cut his screen time in half. And I just said, hey, I'll just give that a shot. So 24 hours in, black and white phone.
Is it working, or you just find yourself watching more I Love Lucy reruns, or what?
No. I mean, it's so apparently there's some science to it. I think it doesn't it doesn't release dopamine nearly as much, so you don't find satisfaction in just doing stupid stuff on your phone, like looking at all the pickup trucks for sale or whatever. And I grew up in the fence truck with my dad, and so when we'd go to a gas station, I'd go in and I'd get the Wheels and Deals or the Classic Car Trader, and I just looked at stuff for sale, and I knew all the cars, I knew all the models and makes, I knew all the motors. And I guess that's still with me because I just love. I'm not buying anything, but I just love looking at stuff for sale. It doesn't matter what it is, man. I'll look at trucks, classic cars, bulldozers, dogs, chickens for sale. I don't care, man. I like looking at stuff for sale. So
I like goats. I think goats are cool.
Yeah,
goats.
Goats. Yep.
He's Australian, man. They look at different stuff over there, man. That's not even unusual. It's like it'll be like a group of them just sitting around there going, swiping left, swiping right.
Keep it PG, keep it PG, people.
Yep.
Yeah, I caught myself on one of those military auction sites. We were just driving down the highway and we see a sign for some military auction, and my wife gets on there and she starts, and of course, like you, I'm just sitting there scrolling through it going, man, like I need an old retrofitted Humvee, right? Or something with a removed turd on top of it or something.
Or like a Mercedes Unimog with a backhoe mounted to the front of it. You know, they've got those. Yeah, I do not have memberships to the big auction sites for that very reason.
You wonder if you're ever going to need that. Then you go back and watch some zombie movie and you're like, that's why I need that.
Well, when I was a kid, I'd be sweeping the shop floor and there'd be screws and nails and 5/16 chain link fence bolts, and you get in trouble if you throw those away. You gotta get the bolts and the nuts out of the trash and put them in the bin.
Oh my God, I'll yell at my guys more if I catch them throwing away a 30-cent tension band and a bolt in the trash can than I will if they back my truck into something. It upsets me.
Well, it's mindset, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. But speaking of fences, though, what's the biggest difference when you're staining? And I know I could go off on everything else. When you're staining, what's the biggest difference between staining a fence and staining a deck? And I think this is this is always pretty interesting for us.
Okay, well, I don't know how interesting it is, but one you're looking forward and one you're looking down is that's the biggest difference. But fencing's generally rough cut in the United States. And so, and you have 6 feet, kind of like this wall behind me, you got 6 feet of gravity. So if you put a penetrating stain that self levels, you can just throw it on the wood and it'll just slowly level itself out. On a flat surface, you don't have gravity. So you got to do the spread. You got to spread it around, and decks are smooth as well. So generally you can put as much stain as you want on this and you can't mess it up. But if you put too much stain on a deck, it can't, there's nowhere for it to go. So you want to kind of leave a matte finish on a deck when you're done. So if you got excess stain, you want to spread it around or wipe it up, something like that.
So when you're training people, is it kind of a completely different setup? Is it different training methods you use, or is it is it kind of basically the same?
I think there's some training systems out there for fencing or for whatever that's really detailed. But I think the guy that I'm looking for, is the guy, we want to give them enough to go out there and figure it out, right? And so there's 1,000 ways to skin a deck or skin a cat, and same thing with staining. And so there's so many ways you can do it. We want to get the basic principles to people and let them figure it out on their own. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of the approach that we take. And I'm not, fence building is like a very detailed craft. You got to know certain things to do it right. With staining, like if you get the stain on the wood, it pretty much will do the job itself. And so yeah, here I need a drink apparently. So we tend to focus a little more on the business side than most people, because it doesn't matter how good you are at something if you can't keep the numbers right, if you can't take care of your people if you can't run the business, right? At the end of the day, that plane eventually crash lands. So we try to focus, kind of do an all around focus on that.
Yeah. So are you drinking, is that pecan or oak, or what flavor
Cedar.
is that?
That's cedar. That's cedar tone, man.
Like local, yeah.
Sasha, have you done much staining? Is there a lot of staining in Australia?
Oh, look, I'm gonna tell you, it brings back some very bad memories. I'm a son of a painter. My dad had been painting on your video where you had the brush. My dad taught me how to bend the brush in and get the line. No tape. Tape was illegal. Yeah. So a lot's growing up. Having a father that owns a painting company, we did there's a lot of wood, especially decks and staining that rag finish, spray finishes, roller finishes. I think these days, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the spray gun technology these days are really good. Like back in my day, it was old school. You paint with a brush or a roller. If you're doing fine stuff, use a rag. But nowadays, with the spray nozzles these days, you can get a good finish, nice spray evenly. But no, it's horror stories for me. Painting and me are not good friends.
Yeah, you might need to lay down for a couple minutes and not watch that video again. But there are a lot of great tools out there now, and the products, the products make it a lot easier too. So our product's called Expert Stain and Seal, and the idea is basically if you use this, anybody can look like an expert. So you get a finish that looks really nice. So it's easy for somebody like me who grew up breaking rock and digging fence post holes. I can then look like I really am better than I am with a good product.
Yeah.
So do you have to ever, when you do your first coat, is there any light sanding after that? I know the fencing is rougher. Once it's on, it's pretty good. You don't have to do any sanding and do another coat. It's just
it's one heavy coat. You just do one heavy. Think of a dry sponge. Wood is the sponge, right? And so oil-based penetrating stain that's got a lot of oil in it is just going to soak right in. And so you can put as much as you want on there, and it'll level itself out on rough surfaces. You don't got to sand it. You don't have to strip it or anything to recoat if you come back 3 or 4 years later and want to recoat it. So pretty easy for a fence guy to do.
Yeah. So what's the prep work on this thing? Is there is it more, I mean, is it like painting where they say 90% of the work is prepping? Or
Well,
is it no?
I think yes and no. So like this deck or these boards on the background here that are to my left and right and below us, that's like an old smooth cut decking with some kind of funky nails or something, fasteners, but something like that. Yeah, you would have to do a lot of prep to make that right, which would be you want to clean it, you want to brighten it, and then after it dries a couple days, you could stain it. The guys that get the best results though on flat surfaces, smooth stuff, they're going to sand it with like 40, 60, 80 grit, more than 80. And that'll really make the wood look brand new and give you the best result. But for a fence, if it's a new fence, 6 months old or less, stain it, man. You just go right for it. And if it's 3 or 4 years old, gray, you just clean it and brighten it. And
Dude, I'm the type that paints over cobwebs, any shit that's in the way. It doesn't even matter. Like you get me a roller and I will roll over it. Like if it's somewhere, I mean, this prep and cleaning stuff, I have no attention span for it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, so you're like a landlord.
Oh, for sure. I'm a slumlord in my own house. Yeah. So you don't even have to rent from me. I will slumlord paint over some cobwebs and dirt, and then my roller's all filthy, and I'm trying to paint something in the garage, and it's like, you should do it. Well, I believe you put enough of that paint over there, it just cleans it at the same time. But so that being said, though, I'm sure what happens when if somebody skips the proper cleaning and the drying time, and they just go straight to staining and it needed to be prepped and stained. I mean, does that deteriorate the stain? Does that make it not? I mean, what goes wrong? I mean, if someone like me that would just go out there and I'm like, you said you'd make me look like an expert and I didn't follow the rules.
Yeah. The thing we have to remember is that stain is a stain. It's not a paint. So it's going to highlight the beauty of your wood. But if your wood's ugly, it's going to highlight the ugly of your wood. And so like this cedar behind me, if we put whatever color we wanted on there, it'd be beautiful. The wood's brand new. This background you have, if you were to put like a golden honey colored stain over that gray wood, you're not going to get the result you want. So just having the awareness or the understanding of what to do, does this need cleaned or not, is important. And then the wood's got to be dry. I said something about drying time in that question. if the best way is to have a moisture meter. 13% moisture or less is ideal, but you can put your hand on the wood. If the wood feels room temperature, then it's probably dry. If the wood feels cool to the touch, then it's probably a little wet. And so you just want to make sure your wood's dry before you stain it.
Huh. Yeah. So if you skip it, it's but if you skip it and it's still wet, it's just going to take longer to dry, or I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. If it's, say you just don't, you're impatient, you're trying to get this thing done by 4 o'clock in the afternoon to get paid, and you just you end up just moving ahead before because you have no time to wait.
Yeah, so that's a good question, and it's something that a lot of guys run into because it's like they're trying to get paid, right? So we got to get this done. If you're using a stain when you open the lid and it stinks, there's a lot of smell to it. That means there's a lot of solvents. And the job of the solvent is to get the stain into the wood before the solvent evaporates. So if you put a high solvent stain on wet wood, or if it's maybe 150 degrees on the surface of the wood because it's really hot, that solvent can either flash dry away or evaporate away before the wood's dry and before it's able to penetrate into the wood. So if you do that, then you're just left with basically some kind of a slurry on the surface of the wood, and the stain won't actually penetrate in, which would lead to a failure. If you're using a stain that's got more oil in it, there's a little more forgiveness because oil doesn't evaporate. So if the wood's a little wet, oil will push the water out the back. And, if it takes 2 days for the wood to dry, well, the oil is still there. It'll soak in. So ideal is, 13%. But guys that do it for a living, they start to understand, particularly based on the product they're using, what the limits actually are, and they'll push it. I never verbally out loud make recommendations to push that, because if you tell a guy 13%, he's probably going to say, oh, well, 17 is probably fine. But if you tell him 17, he's going to say, well, 25 is fine too, right? So we want guys to kind of follow the rules. But if it's a little higher moisture content, you can get away with it, especially with a heavy oil-based type stain.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I've always wondered about that. I'm like, because like I said, I'm notorious for going out there and just moving to the next step before it's done.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not alone on it.
Well, and to translate into business owner terms, if you stain the wood and it's too wet, you're going to have to come back and fix it, right? Yeah. That's what it comes down to. And nobody wants callbacks.
Sasha, are you a prepper?
Cobwebs, mate, on their wood, okay? In the paint. They can have the cobwebs after the fact, Brian, not during.
Well, if it's too thick, I'll pull the cotton. You can get them. You can just pluck it off. You know what I mean? Use a little screwdriver or something to get it off afterwards.
There you go.
Are you a prepper? Are you guys both a prepper? I mean, when you're staining something, do you follow the rules every time?
Well, I think it depends. Like if you're a one-man show, you're a cowboy, right? You understand all the tricks, all the things you can get away with. But when you try to scale your business and you got people working for you that aren't maybe thinking of all the things you are, if you let them and train them how to do the cowboy stuff, I just typically say everybody's not a cowboy, right? So the more team members you get, the more you scale, the more you're going to want to follow those procedures. And we're going to do the same mask, the same cut in, the same drop cloths, the same fence sign, the same, photos to prove we did the prep work every single time. But if it's just you out there, man, I mean, it's your business, right? So you can take all the chances you want, but there's a few things you want to do every time.
My lesson in life with painting is everyone thinks it covers up imperfections. There's an imperfection. Painting generally, staining even more so, it'll bring it out more. So it's not a bad thing to prep a little bit and then get into it, because once you've got it on there, you're going to have to sand back if it stands out, So every time I just put a coat of paint on it, it'll cover it up. I'm like, yeah, that's not how it works.
Well, if you're going to offer a premium service, you might as well do the premium service, right? So do it right. I think that's the way probably anybody in the fence business was probably raised to do things right, or you had to redo it if you grew up like me. So I kind of try to follow that rule pretty strict.
We got some bruises. We got some bruises to prove and some scars to prove why somebody was chewing us out for doing it wrong, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Right?
I still get nervous when I hold a flashlight for my dad.
That's what I mean. But hey, what and speaking about that though, if people do something wrong or when they're out there selling the stuff, I mean, everybody's got different approaches when they're selling. Like some people sell speed, some people sell warranties, some people, I mean, there's just a million different approaches that people go about on some people are selling price, right? So when they're out there doing that, what are some of the biggest lies homeowners are told about either lifetime or like 5-year stains? or whatever,
Well,
whatever stain.
I think a lot of people buy into the idea of they could just do it once and be done. But I think really from a sales perspective, as a fence installer, particularly if you're doing like treated pine. Um, I grew up in a pine market. We built pine fences. They were beautiful. Our customers love us. They give us a 5-star review. 6 weeks later, they call back and they're pulling their hair out. They hate us. We're terrible because the fence warped. There's cracks, there's twists in it, and they're mad at us. They want us to come fix it. And so, probably 20 years ago, everybody started putting clauses in their contract for warpage and, acts of Mother Nature, things like that. And for a fence guy, if you're trying to sell value, first of all, a good oil-based stain will greatly diminish warping, cracking, and twisting. And it looks beautiful, right? So it looks great. Your fence signs on it. It looks better than all the neighbors. People are going to call you, and you're fulfilling the need, right? They need a fence, but they also need to protect that investment. And so I try to think of it as price first cost, right? Like if you build a new fence and you don't stain it, it costs whatever it costs, right? But if that fence falls down or has to be replaced in 7-10 years, which is pretty common, there's a price, there was a price per year to own that fence. So if you stain and seal it on a regular basis, the price initially is going to go up a little bit, but if you can extend the life of that fence to get 20 years out of it, well, your cost of ownership's diminished greatly. And all the while you've been getting recurring revenue on the fence because you've been out there cleaning it, staining it every couple of years. Your fence sign is on the best looking fence in the neighborhood, and you're taking care of your customers. So for a fence guy, I think that's important, is to be able to sell a product you can stand behind and not be running from the callbacks of warping and twisting and things turning gray and looking bad.
What do you think people are out there actually telling homeowners that are probably, oh, we get a lifetime warranty on this chain. We know that, some of these companies may not even be around 5 years later or 10 years later.
Yeah.
Or so what do you think, some of the common, just misstatements people are spitting out there about, maybe do they take the warranty that you put on your product and say that's what they're warranting, for the fence?
Yeah,
and
probably so.
Maybe that doesn't really pertain if they don't install it correctly or something. What do you think they say that they shouldn't be saying?
I see a lot of companies, the smart ones, they say, this sounds kind of extreme, but they'll give a 30-day warranty on a wooden fence. And they say, but if you stain and seal it within 90 days, we'll extend that warranty to 5 years or 1 year or whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's like workmanship, right? So
Yeah.
if I'm going to be in business, and if I go out of business, I'm going to start another business, right? And so somebody asked me once, or I guess I asked my team, because I said, I want to go to a lifetime warranty in our service business for staining, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I asked the question. I said, well, let's just say we stain a fence for somebody's granny, and she calls us back 3 years later and says, I walked in my backyard for the first time, since I got my wheelchair or whatever, and the back side of the gate, you guys didn't stain it. Would you come fix it? I said, what are you going to do? They said, well, we're going to go fix it. I said, okay, that's a lifetime workmanship warranty. Workmanship is easy to warrant because, particularly in construction, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
If you know what you're looking for. I know there's some structural things you can't see. Those 4-inch deep fence posts, you don't see that until it's on the ground. But
Yeah.
but I think offering a lifetime workmanship warranty is a good thing. And if your product has a warranty, that's the stain we manufacture has a lifetime warranty, but it comes just like a new Ford truck, or I think you're a Dodge truck guy. If you buy a new truck, it comes with a maintenance plan, and you lose your warranty if you don't change the oil, if you don't do the maintenance. And so our idea is it's easier to get dollar number 2 than dollar number 1. So once you have a customer, you want to keep the customer. And so they know they got to maintain the wood. And so if we give them a very clear cut, maintenance plan of wash it every year, and for fences, restain, do a maintenance coat every 3 years, you're going to be in the backyard in the neighborhood every year until they decide not to do that anymore. And, why do people stain fences? Most people, they know that you need to seal the wood to protect it. They know that you need, to prevent water or UV damage or mold or rotting. But really, I think the main reason people stain their wood in America is because it looks good.
Yeah.
And so if you can, we're all working in these backyards where they've got super, really nice landscaping, grass, swimming pool, outdoor kitchens, all this stuff. They want the wood to look good. So why would you walk away from that opportunity to pick up that extra revenue? And there's a lot of ways to do it. I know some guys in California pay their guy their subcontractors, or I guess their employees, they pay them a day rate, and they're building with redwood. It's dry, so they build the fence and stain the fence every day, and it's zero more labor for them. And so there's some opportunities there, some low hanging fruit for some fence guys watching.
So do you offer do you offer a maintenance plan for your clients, or encourage the people you train? Is that sort of a bit of a not a tactic? That's exactly
Well,
right.
So we have a service company based in Nashville, and we do offer a maintenance plan. People pay us monthly, and we'll take care of their fence forever. But I know me, and I know that I will mortgage my house to make it right if I have to, right? But we work with thousands of contractors, and I don't know all of them. I don't know how, what their morals are. And so for a long time, we really tried to talk guys into doing maintenance plans, but we know that the turnover in with contractors is kind of like 3 years. Guys get in business 2 or 3 years later, they're gone. So what we did, we flipped it upside down and put the warranty on the homeowner. And basically, so if you use Expert Stain and Seal, you stain their fence or their deck, you say, okay, customer, you now have a lifetime warranty. Here's what you have to do to maintain that warranty. And so it puts the ball in their court. And if that company goes out of business, well, they still can have their warranty as long as they can prove that they've done the maintenance. And so I think that makes it a little easier for contractors to have kind of a set standard on this is what the maintenance is, and they can do their maintenance plan where they call them once a year, where they bill them monthly, they bill them yearly. It doesn't matter. There's 1,000 ways for them to do it, whatever they're comfortable with. But I think that's kind of the way we take that approach.
So I guess to answer my own, you answered the question, but to answer the question about probably one of the biggest lies homeowners, or maybe, I don't want to say lies, is that people are doing something bad. They're not. But I mean, probably is they're taking that lifetime warranty label on the side of your container, and they're telling people this stain has a lifetime warranty, and probably not filling them in on what it takes, the maintenance wise and stuff properly.
Yeah, I think there's some of that, but I think the real problem comes from a lot of the big box brands that people see on TV and they see on billboards, they hear about it on the radio, they trust those brands. But most of those are film forming water-based products. And so they go on the surface, they seal a fence post, a wooden post is a straw. All the moisture that comes through the bottom of that post, it goes out the top. And the same thing with the fence pickets that touch the ground. And so when you basically put a plastic wrap on that fence post or that fence, you cause premature rotting and things like that. And so it's a good idea. So people go to the big box store, they buy a stain that says 10-year warranty or 25-year warranty on vertical surfaces. And the coating will last 25 years, but the wood they put it on is going to rot out in 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And so that's the big problem. And so again, we kind of flipped it on its head, and we would rather, our philosophy is to make a product that's going to make the wood last the longest. And so penetrating stains are more sacrificial. So they go in the wood, not on the wood. They give life to the wood. And the color, the pigment is what blocks the UV damage. The oil and sealer is what protects from weather. But as it's kind of like a fuel gauge. So as the color starts to fade, it's just the gauge telling you, hey, it's time to re-oil this fence. And so we just keep that tank topped off by doing maintenance every couple of years. And that's kind of the idea. That's the plan. Yeah. And that's it.
We make our own stain here at Las Vegas Fence. We use so we recycle everything. I mean, we're real big on recycling. All of our used motor oil from our trucks, we just use that as stain on the fences, and we've had zero issues.
No issues.
Zero issues. Lifetime on our used motor oil stain.
There you go. A lot of motor oil now, it's like fish oil. Did you know that?
No, is it?
Yeah, I think you look at Pennzoil or Quaker State, and on the back it says it's fish oil. So that fish oil is good for fences.
Right. So when do you think, I mean, this is big, like you said, box stores and stuff have it. So when do you think DIY staining makes sense, and when should they call a pro? And it's okay, since there's a lot of fence companies listening, if you said, hey, everybody should always hire a pro, but we know that's not always the case, since it is sold everywhere. So I'm hoping you'll just tell me the truth. When would it make sense for a DIY person to stain?
If the fence customer is an engineer, you might want to let him do it himself, right? Yeah. I mean, I think it just comes down to being honest with yourself and say, is this a project that I'm actually going to get my butt off the couch and go out there and do myself, or am I just going to talk about it for 3 years and then never get it done? And that's what it comes down to. I mean, there's so many products out there now that anybody can use. I think the contractor ought to offer the service. And you know, there's going to be projects you don't want, but just like when you build a fence. But if you can just cherry pick your good jobs and say, hey, you know, this one has 16 koi ponds and grapevines and statues in the backyard, we'll let them do it themselves. And but this is a nice wide open brick house with a big backyard and nothing in it, we'll stain that one. That's an easy one. And that's a good way to start. And then when you get good at it, you can take on the fancy backyards and charge big money for it.
So this will be a fun one. And your answer to my next question cannot be Las Vegas fences, motor oil stained fences. Okay, that can't be the answer to this one. But you know, what's the worst staining job you've ever seen?
Well, I would just put it in a class, in a category. Film forming transparent and semi-transparent stains are they're a film. So think of a colored piece of plastic. You put one layer on, and then you put another one beside it and you overlap them, you're going to have a dark spot in the middle where there's two coats or there's two layers. And so film forming stains are very difficult to get, you know, to get a uniform look, because you put a little here and then you got a light spot, you touch up the light spot, now it's a dark spot. And then you wind up redoing the whole panel, and then you just get stripes and runs all over the place. And so I saw one the other day. I was taking a guy out and just showing him a neighborhood with a bunch of fences. And this fence, you could see every roller mark, you could see everything in it. And when you see those, we've all seen them, they look like crap. Like that's the worst. Like that's it'd be better to take a bulldozer to it than do that, in my opinion. You know, it just looks so bad.
And you think that's like a film? What is it? Like a film that like
it's just stains that they just sit on the surface.
Oh, and then we think they're going to dry clear or something, and they end up drying, and like I think I've seen stuff like that where it just never quite really dries. It's all streaked and it looks funky.
It doesn't look like the wood looked before, right? And so when you put a good stain on a fence, the wood looks the same. It's just a different color. It's maybe deeper and richer, but it's a different color. Those film forming stains, it'll look like a tiger or a zebra, you know, when you're done.
Yeah, my stuff penetrates. I don't know. I mean, it's deep in. Yeah, none of that's sitting out there like that. It's in deep. Yeah, you know, if you don't get a ticket from EPA or somebody out there, then you didn't stain it right.
There you go.
Do you even use oil in Las Vegas? It's harder in Australia. It's harder and harder to use oil based stains now. I don't know.
I thought oil kind of went away for a while. Then it all went to water based. I mean, like painting, obviously, was a lot of oil when I grew up, right? And then it went to a lot of water based. And then was that like a thing for a while? Then it works back to oil. Is there areas of the country where you can't use oil? California is really hard to ship stuff into. So I mean, I know you ship stuff all over the country. Is there issues with trying to get
so in the old days, an oil base was actually, the sealer was an oil. It was a drying oil. And so it was an oil base. It was a pigment. It was the oil, which was a small amount of a drying oil, like linseed oil or something like that. And then you had your carrier, which was the majority of the product was a solvent. Solvents are cheap. They evaporate. They're just, they serve a purpose and then they're done. That's what smells. That's what depletes the ozone layer. That's what, you know, can cause health concerns. Yep. And so the way our stain is, it's different. And so we have a drying oil, but we also, our carrier, instead of using solvent, we're using like a conditioning oil, mineral oil for that. And so that's really what makes our stain different. You take the lid off, there's no smell. It's because it's literally oil. So so that's what we do. And so when people, you know, old school people think of an oil-based stain, they think of something, you open the lid, it stinks, it smells, and that's a sign of it being good. Today it's different. And so our stain's legal in all 50 states. It's legal in the UK, Canada, Australia. We'd love to get it in Australia. So it's a totally different chemistry. So it's more similar to putting motor oil on your fence in some ways, because motor oil, the motor oil, the carbon from the engine deposits, that is used in pigments. And so carbon is something that so you're going to get that dark color, but the oil itself is actually conditioning the wood. That's what makes the wood, you know, kind of swell up and hold its shape. And so the stain that we make is similar to that in some ways, in the fact that it goes into the wood, it conditions the wood, keeps water out that way.
Yeah,
Brian's going to start bathing in motor oil too. You know, don't give him any.
I'm telling you, man. I refuse to go pay to dump my oil somewhere. See, I got to use it somewhere, right?
Well, you remember the old signs the government made that said "dig a hole, put gravel in it, and then pour your oil in it." And
I remember.
Yeah.
No, people don't change their oil anymore. Remember, we grew up, you'd go down and buy 5 quarts of oil at your oil
$15.
filter. Yeah, and you buy your oil filter and your oil, and you'd change your oil. Nowadays, I don't even, half the people don't even know how to change their oil. I bet you both of us know a dozen people that wouldn't know how to change their oil if you told them to, if you gave them the tools.
Yeah. We had a young kid working for us a couple years ago, and told, part of the every day was to check the oil in the truck. Man, he walked over there like he knew what he was doing. He flipped the hood up and he walked around the front of that truck for about 5 minutes just looking. And he had no idea. He had no idea how to change the oil. And he had a truck. So, yeah.
He probably walked over to the Tesla and he's like, look.
We got to teach people the stuff that we learned, and the stuff we were abused with. We got to teach people maybe in not such an abusive way, right?
I guess, right? I don't know, right? Nobody was so emotionally supportive to us when they were teaching us.
Yeah.
There was no emotional support. Right? You wouldn't even show a feeling like crying in front of them, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I used to tell guys that I got, like, the worst thing that could happen back in the old day on a fence crew was to go sit in the truck. Because it was hot. He's not going to let you roll the window down. You can't take a nap. You got no cell phone. Right. And so it's like, that was the worst thing ever.
Oh, you didn't get taken back to the shop when you were done and you were sick about feeling good. You'd have to go, like you said, you'd have to go sit in the truck and you'd wait. If it was only an hour into the day, you sat there for 7 hours if you weren't working, but you weren't getting a ride back nowhere.
I'll just carry bags of concrete. That's better than sitting in the truck. Yeah.
You're better off just working.
Yep.
So while we're on that though, when we're talking about the staining, what's something that people do that permanently ruins the fence or deck? I mean, beforehand, is it power washing? Is it something that will completely ruin it? There's no point in staining it after that. It's gone.
Well, probably, and this would be kind of a debatable thing, but putting some kind of a solid coating, like if you put this brand new cedar and you painted it black, unless you're just trying to achieve a cool look, you've kind of ruined it, because it's very difficult to get it off once it goes on.
So
a paint or a solid stain, something like that. It looks beautiful when it's new, but it's going to crack, it's going to peel, it's going to cause the wood to rot earlier. And so that's probably a great way to ruin your fence, is to put some kind of a solid film forming stain on it. Now, if you got a 13-year-old fence that's gray, it's got 15 different repairs on it, solid stain's a good choice for that. But if you got some brand new wood, I'd use an oil on it for sure.
So have you ever went out there? It kind of leads up into this. If you ever went out there and the job was just too far gone and you just refused to do it, it had maybe some paint or something on it. And even though, I mean, I'm sure you have some processes to get, if it's a new enough fence and somebody screwed up and put the wrong stain on or something, you probably have a way to get that off, right?
Yeah. When I grew up in the fence business, sometimes we'd quote a job and there was rock everywhere, and we knew we were going to drill every hole, jackhammer every hole. And sometimes we just bid those projects in such a way that we'd let the next guy get them. Because we had work, there's, like a lot of guys in the fence business in December and January, they're taking on jobs they might not do in July. Right. And so staining's the same way. Like there's projects that we just don't want to do. We don't want to strip wood. Our core customer is got a wooden fence or deck. It's 3 years old or less, and it's never had anything on it. That's what we're shooting for. When we get all of those, we'll start thinking about taking on some of the other stuff. And a lot of times the new guys that are getting started, they start taking on those hard jobs. They get a bad taste in their mouth. So I think it's a good idea to kind of hold your ground. You're not going to starve, right? Go get the good stuff and work on that, and you'll be a lot happier.
Yeah. So before I get on to my final question, I did want to bring up, I'm really excited about it. I was really excited to see you guys do this, because I really, and I talked to you guys about the Fence University thing, and I don't even do stain, and I'm super excited about the staining university that you do. So you are expanding it this year though. And it's going to be March 4th to the 5th. And I'm going, by the way, I'm going straight there. I know, we got the fence cruise going on, I think until like the 3rd. So I've had to tell everybody, don't get my return flight because I'm going straight to your event when we get back from our cruise, from the fence cruise.
Man, we need a stain cruise. That sounds
I know,
good.
that's what we'll do it next. But so only because I know if there's anything you guys do it first class. So I'm pretty excited about this event. So tell me, I mean, I've been to your other one, like you said, in Alexandria. This one's going to be in Lebanon. And that's not too far, right? From
No, it's closer to the city, so it's in a big city. So lots of food to eat, lots of places to stay, lots of stuff to do. But yeah, we've done it at this location before, or the same grounds, but this building is it's a brand new facility, and so it's huge. It's a big expo center. So in the past, we've basically had the fire marshal say, you can't bring any more people in here. We've always outgrown our places, and so it's going to be hard to outgrow this one, but we're going to give it a shot. So the new place, it's brand new, it's beautiful. Going to be a lot of vendors there.
Nice.
Ford trucks are going to be there, all the big sprayer manufacturers. We got a fence install school going on there at the same time, doing a no dig fence, wood privacy fence, pre-stain fence, and how to stain a fence, how to stain a deck, how to restore wood, how to pre-stain wood, how to bid jobs. We got a bunch of great keynote speakers coming in, business coach speakers, you name it. So we got a lot of cool stuff going on.
Are we going to have a little bit of that action with some groovy music and stuff going?
Oh, we will. And then we got a mobile cigar lounge coming. And
you do?
yeah, so Wednesday night, it's Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday night, we're going to have a big campfire under a big pavilion and hang out with the guys that want to stay late, and we'll eat tacos and barbecue and smoke cigars, have a good time.
So how do they get more information on this? Is it your normal website for the Staining University?
You can go to the normal website, but make it easy on you. Just go to staininguniversity.com and come check it out. There will be a certificate if you like certificates, but I think the main thing is there's everybody's at a place in business, and to get to the next place, it's really good to talk to people that are where you are. Yep. But they were there 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. And so it's great for network, and you can meet a lot of people that can help change your thinking, help elevate you to the next place. And then you might learn something, I think there's going to be people there with a lot of experience in the industry doing that, fence builders. There'll be painters there, anybody who does wood care. And so it's going to be a good event to get to and get outside your box.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still talk to a lot of fencers that I met at that event. And then, how many years? That must have been like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, probably 2 or 3 years ago at the last one you were at.
Yeah. And I could look at that picture, and I still talk to probably a bunch of those people just in that photo that I pulled up earlier that was from your website. So that's kind of cool. Sasha, have you done any of these staining stuff? You didn't go to one of these events yet, right?
No, I haven't been to an event yet.
I'm going to try to drag you to this one. I'll try to drag you.
So where's Sasha? Are you in Australia or where are you at?
I'm originally from Australia. Now I'm in Southern California.
Okay.
One of our locations is in SoCal and the other one's in Arizona.
Well, SoCal is a great stain market. Arizona's hit or miss.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, very hit or miss in Arizona. Definitely, Southern California's got lots of staining and yeah.
And I'm sure you know people if somebody's looking for stain or somebody that California.
I got a bunch of guys in the Bay Area, San Diego area. Yeah, for sure.
So hey, my final question though. What's the one thing you wish every fence contractor understood about staining? Like if you could snap your fingers and every fence contractor out there understood this about staining, what would it be?
I think I would say this. I would say, what if I would say, how long does it take you to build a privacy fence? They might say we set the post, we come back the next day and finish it, or we dry pour it, whatever. And I would say, what if I told you could make that same margin, same profit in 2 hours by staining it? I think that would be something that might make their ears perk up.
Yeah. There you go, man. I appreciate you coming on. I know it's late for you. It's like 6:30, 7 o'clock for you.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. You got your black and white screen going on right there. You're probably getting ready to watch Matlock or Murder, She Wrote or something in black and white. I got some Landman to watch and some other stuff.
In the heat of the night, man. In the heat of the night.
Sasha, thanks for coming on too, you guys. Everybody that's listening, definitely get over. If you haven't been to one of the state universities, go check it out. I'm sure I'll see you at Fence Tech here in another week or week and a half. We'll be coming up walking that. So grab one of us, grab him at Fence Tech too. Hopefully we see you guys all there. Go to your website, go to theirs, go to one of these events. This is how we keep all this stuff alive, everybody. We appreciate the support. Industry loves it. All right. We'll talk to you, Caleb. Have a good one.
Take care, guys. Appreciate you.
All right.